In this lesson, let's talk about some of the commands that we're going to be using in T-Splines. Let's start with the first icon here, which is your convert NURBS to T-Splines and convert Rhino NURBS or polymesh. A few things you can do to use this program. You can actually build a T-Spline mesh directly from your primitives here, or you could build something that you made from Rhino. So let's draw a Rhino NURBS curve right on the top view, just like this. I'll take it and mirror it to the other side. Let's pull up the F10 key. I'm going to go to my gumball and just give it some height, a little bit of character to it. You can take this to curves here. You can turn off the gumball and type in loft. There you go. You can actually take it, and when you hit the left click, it tells you convert your NURBS to T-Spline. So if I left click, you'll notice nothing really happened. But if I turn on our T-Splines toolbar, hit the verts toggle, you'll notice that it has a whole new set of information. You can take these, go to the move, which is W key, and manipulate any way you want. It is now a T-Spline. You can take these groups here and move it up and down. Try something a little more complex. We'll draw another NURBS curve. There we go. Put up all the control points with F10. Again, we'll do the same thing. Give it a little bit of height. And we'll take these and give it some height as well. And let's try a 2-rail sweep. So I'll select the 2 rails, go to sweep 2, and it looks a little too complex. So let's simplify it a little bit. So go pull this guy out. Could delete this control point and this one. Let's try it again. Let's turn on our isocurves real quick so you can see what's happening. You'll notice it's very dense with all these isocurves. For T-Splines to work, you kind of want to simplify it, and I'll show you what I mean. If we select our T-Spline NURB here, let's type in rebuild, and let's see what happens. We have 74 going into U and 5 going into V. Right now, if we have 6 and 8, you'll see that the feedback is giving us this shape. We don't want that. It's a little too, it's deviating from the original model. So you want to increase this amount. So let's say 24. And you see it starts to form. If I go to less, like 20, you'll see it's still forming, which is good. And the 8 is going this way. It's up to you if you feel like you need more. Let's try 6. It's not bad. It's deviating a little bit. But let's go back to 7 or 8. There we go. And when you're finished, make sure delete input is checked yes and hit OK. And that's what we want. To convert it into a T-Spline, you again just left click here. You'll notice nothing happened. But when you turn on the toggle, hit the A key, we now have the ability to edit it. I can hit the S key to select all the edges on this ring. I can move it up and down. I can go to the D key, which is the face tool. I can pull this one up and down as well, shape it any way I want. And that's what it is. When you're finished with your model, and you feel like the T-Splines has gotten the organic shape you wanted, I'm going to invert the normals real quick by going to this icon. When you're finished, all you have to do is go back to this icon here and right click. You'll notice now, if you go back to here, it is now a NURB. It is no longer a T-Spline. No more control points. You can actually do your booleans, you can do splits, you can export this as an STL. It is no longer a T-Spline, and you can no longer convert it back to a T-Spline unless you do the rebuild and convert again to, with the left click, to a T-Spline. The next thing I want to show you is the piping tool. The way this works is you can just build a line, a straight line, select the curve, select the pipe. You have some options here. One thing I want to do is just show you this part here. You can change the radius to like 5. You can do an output. You can show the preview as a box or smooth. It's up to you. Box is fine. And hit enter. You have the ability to manipulate the model. You have the ability to select the ring and grow it. Another good thing about the piping tool is you could have multiple curves on the segment. They don't have to be joined. And when you select the entire network of curves that are joined or connected on the pipe tool, and you'll see that they have some sort of connection. Hit the enter key to apply. And this T-Spline is, they're all connected. Just like that. Same goes if you have a NURBS curve. This one, you could pull this in another direction. And pull this one in this direction. So you could pretty much build a tree right from T-Splines. Or something very organic. Let's go to the pipe tool. There's the feedback. Change the radius to 8. Hit enter. Hit the tab key so you can go to smooth mode, and you can see that it's very, very cool looking. Again, with the S key, you can go to the edges and do whatever you want. A key, so you can do some manipulation to it. And the D key, so you can select some faces to shape. Again, when you're finished, like I showed you previously, you can take this model, right click on here, and it's now a NURB. I'm going to undo real quick. If you wanted to convert a T-Spline into a NURB, it cannot happen when you are in box mode. You have to make sure that the model is first selected. You have to make sure it's in smooth mode by clicking this icon or hitting the tab key. Then you could hit the right click button to convert it to a NURB. There you go. Great. In the next lesson, we will continue to explore more of the commands in T-Splines.